On today's podcast, I had Charlie Chang on, who was pre-med and gave it all up to be a solopreneur. I mean, this guy had so many different side hustles with modeling, photography, tutoring, real estate, and eventually it led to his YouTube career, which has been growing like crazy. And the big key from this podcast was that he had to go through a bunch of different things to figure out kind of who he wanted to be and what that end goal was. But going through all of these different side hustles allowed him the skills, the experience to succeed in what he's doing now. So I think it's super inspiring for any of you who are listening and watching this podcast, because you might be in the similar boat where you're going through a bunch of things, you're trying a lot, and they're not necessarily working out how you want. I think they're all a stepping stone to getting to where you want to be. So make sure you stay till the end. Now, let's jump into it.
Are you looking to grow your real estate investing business? My company, Future Flipper, can help. We've taught hundreds of people all over the country how to flip, wholesale, and buy rental properties. And it doesn't matter where you're at in your investing journey. Whether you're trying to get your first deal or scale your company, Future Flipper can help. We have courses, coaching, and events for all levels of investors. So if you want to take the next step, go to futureflipper.com and book a free consultation to see how we can best help you. Once again, that's futureflipper.com. If you've ever wanted to invest with me on my real estate deals, it's now possible. At Pineda Capital, we're purchasing value-add real estate all across the country. This includes multifamily, commercial, and land development. The best part is, with my network, social media presence, and marketing strategies, we're able to get the very best deals that others don't have access to. You can join in with me on those deals if you're an accredited investor. If you want to learn more, head over to PinedaCapital.com to see our current opportunities. Once again, that's PinedaCapital.com. Welcome to the Ryan Pineda Show, where our mission is to invest.
I only expect to make money in things that I understand.
Innovate.
It's about believing in the future and thinking that the future will be better than the past.
And inspire. I am much more likely to hit my goal just due to putting it out there.
You're now rocking with the best.
What's going on, everybody? Welcome to another episode of the Ryan Pineda Show. Today, I didn't know this, but I've gotten a longtime viewer on the show.
Yes.
And somebody that I highly respect, who is making great content and doing a lot of great things in the finance space. You're somebody who's doing it way different than me as a solopreneur and still just making great money, building businesses and side hustles and inspiring a lot of people along the way, man. So
yeah, I'm super excited to be on the show, right?
Yeah. Well, dude, I didn't even get to introduce you. This is Charlie Chang. He's here,
guys?
dude. So we're out here in Austin right now for FinCon. And I'm interviewing a bunch of cool people. And, man, it's a very different crowd out here, dude.
Yeah. It was good to meet you yesterday, finally in person. And seeing all the, cool finance people, I love the energy around here.
Yeah. It's funny because I dropped the YouTube video about how I interviewed, I think it was 15 finance YouTubers on how to become a millionaire. And you were part of that video.
Yep.
And half of them were like, dude, you got to go out to FinCon. I'm like, what is FinCon? And they're like, dude, it's where everyone gets together, they hang out. And I was like, all right, I'll come out. So it's been fun, man. We rented this Airbnb and
so nice here.
Yeah. And, I've gotten to meet a lot of cool people and, we're filming some content and man, dude, these finance YouTubers and stuff, I like to party, dude.
Yeah, surprisingly, right?
I know. I'm like,
yesterday was a party.
I know. I'm like, dude, what time you guys going to bed? I feel like an old man compared to everybody. Yeah, and I'm 32.
3 or 4 a.m. last night, so it's been wild.
Yeah, dude. So we're filming on 4 hours of sleep. But yeah, I want to kind of dive into your story a little bit of how you got to where you got, because I feel like with YouTube and TikTok and all these social media platforms, people are blowing up out of nowhere. And I see that with you. People say that about me. But there's always stuff we were doing way before all people started noticing us. So tell me a little bit about your story, man.
Yeah, so I went to UCLA. I was pre-med. My parents really wanted me to be a doctor, so I was like, all right, I'm going to be a doctor, even though I hate blood, needles, everything like that. So I went the whole pre-med route and tried getting into med school, didn't get in. And ever since then, I just like started doing my own thing. I'm a big like side hustle guy.
Yeah.
So I've just been doing a bunch of random stuff and sort of like led to where I am today.
Yeah, dude. So tell me about pre-med school, because that ain't easy, dude. Like, and I don't know about you, but I have an Asian parent, and it's like, man, they want you to get good grades and to, you know, do things like pre-med, super stereotypical but true. And it's just like, how was that?
I mean, I was always like very into school, so it made sense for me. But yeah, like Asian parents, they only know like success as one thing. Like even right now, when I tell them what I do, they're like, that's so weird that you can do all that, right? And make a living.
Yeah.
So it makes sense that they want me to like be a doctor or a lawyer or something like that.
Have a respectable career.
Yeah, yeah.
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 Being a YouTuber is not respectable.
For them, for them, academics was everything. That's how they got to this country. That's how they had their success. So that makes sense that that's what they wanted.
What are your parents' careers?
My mom is a statistician and my dad is a software engineer.
Okay.
Yeah. So very academic, right?
So you grew up in academics.
Yep.
Throughout high school, you did well at school. Like, what did you do besides that?
I mean, I started selling candy when I was in like 6th grade. So I've always like had this itch for entrepreneurship, but it was always like on the side because I didn't think I would do it full time.
Right.
But yeah, I started reselling things on eBay and Craigslist. I feel like a lot of entrepreneurs like start doing something like that, right? Like,
Right.
Did you?
Yeah, I mean, I didn't know I was an entrepreneur. I don't know if you like knew you were. Did you know you were an entrepreneur like young?
No.
Okay,
No.
yeah, me neither. So I remember I was selling Pokemon cards and Yu-Gi-Oh cards and making money. And then I remember as I got out of high school, I started selling cell phones.
Oh, wow.
One little scheme I did is I'd buy a bunch of iPhones when they first got released because they were super hard to get. And I remember, you know, you buy the iPhone for, I don't even know, $700, and you could sell them for like $1,400.
Really? Oh my God.
Right
that's
when they got
crazy.
released, because it wasn't like it was today where, you know, they have so many.
Right.
It was like you're waiting months.
Okay. This is back in the day.
Back in the day, probably like 10 years ago.
Okay.
And so I did that. I would sign up for like all these family plans with Sprint and stuff.
Okay.
I'd buy 5 of them with Sprint, 5 of them with Verizon, you know, whatever. So I had like 20 iPhones.
Jeez.
And then I'd cancel the 2-year contract, and there was a cancellation fee. It was like $400.
But still made sense.
Yeah,
right?
because I was like, okay, I bought it for $7. I canceled it. You know, it was like I'm all into this phone for $1,000, $1,100, and I sell them for like $14.
Yeah. I feel like one thing with you is like you're super creative with what you do. Like that's not something that I think most people would do, right?
Yeah, I don't even know that I've ever told that story, but
That's crazy.
yeah, and I didn't know I was an entrepreneur doing these things. I'm just like, this is an opportunity. It looks like a way to make money.
Yeah.
Like, let's just do it.
Yeah.
So I did that. Then obviously I got into the other things like being a realtor, which is kind of a hustle, dude. You know, it's
I did that too. Yeah.
Yeah, most people don't become a realtor like because it's their dream. They're like, I want to just make some extra money.
Yeah.
I also don't really know many people who become a realtor that are like, I'm becoming a realtor. This is all I'm doing full time.
Yeah.
It's kind of always like a side deal.
Yeah. That's how it was for me too. Yeah.
Yeah. And then eventually, you know, I started flipping couches and doing these random things and then houses. And I'm like, I think I'm an entrepreneur. Like,
Yeah.
because I've never had a job.
When we look back on it, we're like, oh shoot, we've been doing like a lot of like entrepreneurial things.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Yeah.
It's cool looking back on it.
So you start doing some stuff. Were you doing anything in college while you're in pre-med?
I mean, in college, I was like doing photography. So I've been doing photography for like close to 15 years, probably ever since like high school. So I was doing shoots, like portraits, doing graduation shoots, which was like one of my biggest side hustles. But besides that, like just focusing on school, getting good grades, and trying to, you know, become a doctor.
So what happened with pre-med?
I just like had a bad application, I guess. Like I didn't really do too many extracurriculars that were crazy. My grades were good. My interviews probably not that good. And yeah, I mean, I'm super glad I didn't get into med school because I would have dropped out.
Right.
I know for sure I would have dropped out.
So did you get your bachelor's degree?
Yeah.
What was that in?
Psychobiology. So mix of psychology and biology. That was like
What
the
does
easiest.
that even mean? Explain that to me, dude.
It is basically like half psych majors. So like we take psych classes and then half like biology, chemistry, all that stuff.
But what? Explain. Hold on. So I think in my mind, I'm like, okay, this guy, he's a biology major.
Yeah.
And then maybe he's a psych minor. But you're telling me this is one major.
It's one major. It's UCLA's easiest pre-med major, I think.
What are you studying psychology for of biology? I don't get
Dude,
it.
I don't even know. I don't even know what I learned, to be honest.
That's
Like,
crazy.
I don't use any of it.
Hey, Charlie, I don't want to hate on you, but I kind of see why you didn't, pass.
Yeah. Yeah.
But-
I have no, yeah.
So, dude, it's funny because I think about it the same way, like economics wise. I got an economics degree,
Okay.
and I honestly don't know how I got it because I didn't pay attention. I was focused on baseball. I kind of just winged it. I didn't study nothing, and I remember my freshman year, I had a 3.8 because I was coming out of high school hot. I'm
Yeah.
like, yeah, I'm getting good grades. And then my freshman season, I was a freshman All-American. I was the freshman of the year for the conference, and I won all these awards and stuff. And I'm like, dude, I'm playing baseball, so I don't need to go to school.
Yeah.
So then, like my sophomore year, I sucked at school.
It's all good.
Which suck for me was not suck. Like it was 3.0.
Okay.
Versus,
That's not bad.
Yeah, versus like I was getting A's and everything before.
Right.
And then junior year, I was getting drafted and I was like, dude, school is just whatever. So I just continued getting 3.0s.
Right. You were just there.
Yeah, I'm just like,
Yeah,
it doesn't matter. And not that they put your GPA on your degree anyway.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't know. I just kind of wasn't really into it. And I guess too, even though I was getting good grades, I guess, I don't remember anything I did. Like I couldn't tell you that I actually learned much.
I'm not, thinking about college is like, I don't think it's right for everyone. Like, what's your take on that?
No, I mean, this is what I tell. It's funny. So after I retired from baseball, I coached high school for 2 years just for fun. I called up the high school coach.
You were like a substitute teacher, right? Or something like that?
Yeah, dude. So that's another entrepreneurial kind of endeavor. I was a sub. This was way before anything. I think I was like 22 when I was a sub. But I went to go coach high school baseball. And this was when I was like 27, 28.
Yeah.
Wasn't getting paid, just for fun. And the players were all like talking about college and stuff, right? And the coach is always telling you, go to college,
Right.
blah, blah, blah. And I got all my players there. I'm like, guys, I don't think you guys should all go to college.
Dang.
And the coach, everybody's like, hey, bro, you can't be like saying that.
Yeah.
And I'm like, well, it's the truth. I don't think you guys should go to college. Like if you don't know what you want to do, you shouldn't go to college. And half you guys are going to do something that, well, actually the majority of you will go to college and either not graduate or not use your degree.
Mm-hmm.
Those are the facts.
Yep.
And you're going to waste all your money, waste time. Like you're better off just jumping straight into the workforce or the entrepreneurial world than just wasting away for 4 years.
Yeah, if you want to make money in something that's not like accounting or medicine or something, then college to me is like not the best investment, especially if it's 4 years, right? You can't.
Yeah. How much was it to go to UCLA?
Shoot, maybe like $150,000.
It's
Like
freaking-
if you invest that money, like
Dude.
into your business, right? Like
It's crazy.
Crazy.
I remember, so I went to CSUN, Cal State Northridge, and we went to a couple of UCLA parties right down the street, and we played their baseball team every year. And I was just like, man, dude, this place is nice.
yeah, Westwood's nice.
Yeah,
it's like,
UCLA
it's a great
sick.
school. Yeah,
If at least you get the college experience
Yeah.
of like,
that's worth something. For
that
sure.
is for something. I'll say that.
Yeah.
But the school side of it, unless you need your degree for whatever, like pre-med, okay, cool. You want to go to college to be a doctor? Great. Like I don't want some doctor working on me who's, some hustler from YouTube.
Right,
Like,
exactly.
I'm cool with that.
Yeah.
But to the original point of like the baseball kids, I was telling them, I'm like, hey, because a lot of them were wanting to go to school for baseball. I said, that's fine. That's why I went to college. Like I literally went to college. I had no idea what my degree was going to be. I had no idea about anything. They were like, hey, you're getting good grades and you got an A in economics. You should go get an economics major. And I was like, okay. Like, what do economics do? I still didn't know. And they were like, well, it's the highest paying degree, like in the business section. I go, that sounds good to me. I still had no idea what it was.
Yeah.
But I told my students coaching, I was like, guys, here's the truth. A lot of you guys, this isn't related to school, but they're all talking about how they're getting all these scholarships and all these things. And let me tell you, dude, I'm a realist and I've been through it. And I go, here's the truth, guys. You think all these schools are talking to you and recruiting you? Show me your scholarship offers. And they're like, oh, well, you know, my coach says it's coming and my parents said it's coming. And I was like, you fools ain't good enough. That's the truth. Like, if you were good enough, the offers would be sitting there right now for you. Okay? So the quicker you get out of fantasy land and, you know, your freaking travel ball coach that you pay, you know, to tell you nice things. I have no incentive in this game. I'm gonna hit you with the truth as somebody who's played.
You're direct, right?
Yeah.
You say how it is.
Yeah, I'm like,
that.
you fools shouldn't go to college if you don't want to. And if you ain't have a scholarship at this point, you're a junior, senior, it ain't happening. And you can go walk on and have a successful career, but don't try and tell me you're like hot stuff when you ain't.
Yeah.
So, anyways, I don't know. That was a long rabbit hole. But so, you know, you get your undergrad, you know, you don't get into grad school. You're like, all right, whatever. Like, what happens next?
Well, I was like, I need to figure out a way to make money and just like live on my own in LA. So I just started tutoring. I did photography, a bunch of side hustles. And I think like being in that like uncomfortable position where I was like, shoot, I don't know what I'm doing. That just made me explore a bunch of different things. So that's why I'm so big on like doing side hustles, just like something that you're doing right now doesn't have to be like the thing you're doing for the rest of your life, right? It's just a stepping stone, right? And at least for me, all the side hustles in some way, like they combine together and help me with YouTube. So, yeah.
Well, so what I've seen from you is you did all these side hustles that got you through, right? Like they made money, you developed things along the way, but you also learned skills through those side hustles.
Yeah.
And you also learned what you like, what you don't like.
Exactly.
So tell me about some like skills, because we'll talk about this later. You know, obviously you finally found YouTube, which was a side hustle, just like the rest of them, but it turned into the main deal, which is now your career.
Yeah.
So same thing for me. Real estate was that side hustle, and then it finally turned into a career. Tell me about the other side hustles that did not necessarily pan out, but you learned some skills from them.
I mean, I've pretty much done everything. I've done like modeling.
Dude, tell me about modeling.
Modeling is cool. It's not like you can't get rich becoming being a model, but you meet so many cool people. You get to like be behind the scenes of like these cool shoots and on set. So it's just a cool way to like see the behind the scenes of these companies. And I think that also like sort of contributed to my desire to get more into entrepreneurship. Just like, I want to be writing the checks to hire these models, not be the model.
Be the model,
right?
be the talent.
Yeah.
Dude, is it how Zoolander portrays it, dude?
Nah, so I did print modeling, which is like way different. So like everyone that I worked with like, we were just like, you know, decently good looking, like normal looking people. Like we're not like on the runways, right? So it was very lifestyle. So I did shoots for like Verizon, Apple, Dell, like tech companies, Walmart, all these companies.
So that's how they do it. There's like levels. They're like, okay, we got average looking people, we've got above average, and then we've got like, you know, Brad Pitt.
Yeah. Well,
like the ultra good looking guys.
Yeah. those people, they like have a unique look, or they're like super tall, or like they have
Yeah.
that right, like unique look.
We're short Asian guys.
Yeah. Well, yeah.
Yeah.
We look more like normal, so I think
Yeah.
they want to be relatable for at least some of their marketing, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, above average of normal. And give yourself some credit. Above average. So and guys, comment below. Charlie's a good looking dude, so show him some love. It was funny when I was on Graham's podcast with Jack.
Yeah.
He was like, I forgot what he was saying. He was like super self-conscious about like something.
Jack was?
Yeah, about himself. I was like, Jack, you're a good looking guy.
Jack is a
dude."
good looking dude.
I told him that, and he was like, "Nah, you're not just saying that, are you?" I was like, "Jack, you're a good-looking guy, dude. Like, I'm objective. I'll be like, dude, you're good looking.
You're average.
You're average, and you know,
Yeah.
you could do some other things.
Yeah.
So, you know, that's just the way life is. But it was just funny, man. But I've never actually interviewed a model. And so that's kind of interesting to hear about that aspect of it. What I'd be curious now, and I've thought about this for myself, is like, do you as an influencer now get people or brands that are like, hey, I want Charlie to do this ad because he's good looking and he has a model background, or just because you have influence?
I mean, I think like the marketability does like looks does help with that, right?
Right.
But I'm an awkward person. I don't think like they're coming to me for like, oh, this guy's like a stud.
For the charisma.
Yeah, they're not coming to me for that. I don't
That's
know.
why
I
you're
don't-
saying print model, because it's just pictures.
just pictures. As you can tell, I hate being on camera, so I don't know how I do YouTube. Being on podcasts, like doing interviews, is not my thing. But I'm just trying to get out of my comfort zone. Yeah.
You know what's interesting about that is I've met a ton of YouTubers, and they're all very much that way.
Yeah.
Like socially, they don't really want to like mingle, and like they're not like out there just being super like social.
It could be our niche, right?
It could be our
It could
niche.
be our niche, but for like, I think I started, one big reason why I started YouTube was to try and do something that made me like really uncomfortable, right?
Yeah.
Like being on camera, talking to a camera is like so weird still, but
Yeah.
that's sort of what got me like started.
I love that, dude. Just get out of your comfort zone,
Yeah.
because you never know where it's going to lead.
I think everything good will probably come from getting out of your comfort zone.
Well, if you think about it too, unless your life is where you want it to be, your comfort zone ain't going to get you
True.
where you want to be, because
True.
you're just going to stay doing what you always have done.
Yeah.
So I'm with you on that.
Yeah.
But yeah, the thing I've found talking to other, I guess, finance YouTubers, I've talked to other guys who are not in the finance niche, and very similar stories still, where they're kind of socially, not awkward. I mean, some definitely socially awkward. Some just like very introverted, not awkward, but just don't really want to do anything. And they're like, yeah, it's way easier for me to talk to this camera than it is to talk to a person.
Yeah. It is different.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm definitely getting better at talking to a camera, like in my own room.
Right.
It's just me, but talking to someone on camera is a lot different.
Yeah.
Yeah.
For sure. I love it. So for me, when I talk to the camera by itself, my video guys right here, they'll tell you, I am way worse, because I'm like literally not talking to anybody with any feedback to what I'm saying. And I'll like look at my script and stuff, and I'll be like, okay, so here guys, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, this is so dumb. I'm not talking to anybody. And I'm like trying to be theatrical and like make it entertaining.
Yeah.
But this is way easier
Much
for
easier.
me. And I don't,
Opposite for me.
yeah,
That's
and I don't
funny.
have to plan. I don't have to script. I'm like, yo, let's just go with the flow.
Mm-hmm.
This is great. So it is interesting. But I think it goes back to finding like your style and niche.
Yeah. Yeah.
There's a reason Joe Rogan just interviews people and doesn't do this.
Yeah. He's so good at that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, you know, you did modeling. What's the biggest thing modeling taught you, do you think?
Modeling taught me to hustle and be okay getting rejected. Because, dude, when you model,
That
like,
mental rejection's got to be rough,
like, bro,
dude.
you're going on these like casting calls. Like you drive 30 minutes to an hour in LA traffic to a place. You wait in line. They take a few photos of you. You leave. You have like a 1 in 200 shot of getting the job.
Yeah.
So like you're constantly just getting rejected over and over again. So I think that was like a big thing. Like
your self-image and self-esteem's got to be like, dude, am I like, just like, why don't they like me?
Right. Yeah. And I mean, it makes sense. Like they have so many people to choose from.
Right.
But the biggest thing is it's okay to get rejected, right?
Yeah.
Over and over again, because
Yeah.
you'll land a big job that will be life-changing. And same thing with like YouTube, or right, like YouTube just need to make one video that does well,
Right.
and then
Put you on the map.
you have that momentum and you just keep going. you know?
Yeah. I'm with you.
Yeah.
Tell me about being a tutor, dude.
Oh man, tutoring was like the worst thing. Tutoring, yeah, I just did that because I needed money, and you make cash, and the IRS doesn't have to know about that.
Yeah.
But tutoring, you get to meet like really wealthy people. So some of the people I tutored are extremely wealthy. You get to see like their nice homes, how they live their life. And
Wait a minute. So when you told me you were tutoring, I was thinking you were tutoring kids, because you were like, wealthy people. What are you tutoring them?
So I'm tutoring wealthy people's kids, I guess.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So I'm going to their like super nice homes.
Got it.
Like I remember the first girl I tutored, she had a driveway that was like 200 feet long. It was, and I think Justin Bieber was like trying to buy her house or something like that. So seeing that was definitely inspiring. And I was like, dang, I'm coming here to tutor for like 35, 40 an hour. Yeah. But
Yeah.
I still learned like how to present information, which I think helped with YouTube and everything. So
Yeah.
I'm glad I did it.
You know what I tell people is you become better at it once you start teaching, because you have to start figuring out how to articulate a very difficult concept in a simple way.
Yeah.
Like I've met a ton of smart people who literally, they're the worst teachers I've ever seen, because I'm like, bro, ain't nobody understand what you just said.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Being smart does not correlate to like being good at teaching stuff, right?
Exactly.
Yeah.
I think the best teachers are those who can take a difficult thing and make it simple.
And
That's like the cornerstone.
There's like so much information out there, like, but the only value in information, I feel like, for most people is like being able to understand it.
Yeah.
So,
Well, I'll tell you, for me, when I film YouTube videos, I purposely dumb down everything I say. And I don't use big words.
Yeah.
I don't try and talk super fast or anything like that, because it just is so much easier. And like, I don't know if people try to sound smart and like prove their intelligence. But to me, I'm like, if you know that people listening don't understand what you're saying, or if you're unaware that people don't understand it, then you're probably socially dumb because you don't understand that people don't understand you.
Yeah.
Or two, it's just like, that's not getting the maximum benefit to what you're trying to do.
Yeah.
Granted, if you're in an academic setting and you're with a bunch of doctors,
It's a little different, right?
Yeah.
But yeah, YouTube, it's different. I think that's one big thing I learned from Graham, right? He was like, everything you make should be like understood by a fifth grader, right?
Yeah.
So that's kind of how I script out my stuff.
yeah,
Right? Yeah.
no, and that's how it should be.
Yeah.
So, especially on YouTube where the audience is younger. So, I think tutoring's great. I think for me, I became a better real estate investor when I started coaching,
Okay.
because I had to start thinking about, what are the problems my students are having? What are they constantly asking about? And if I explain something and they still don't understand it, I did a bad job of explaining it. How do I explain that in a simpler way
Yeah.
for them to take action? Because if you explain everything in a complex way, they become overwhelmed. They don't take action.
Yeah. Teaching definitely helps you get better at your own stuff.
Yeah.
For sure. For sure.
Or if you give them too much too soon. So it's kind of like, we all know that there's steps to each thing. So if you gave them the whole blueprint off the bat, they look at the steps and they're like, dude, this is way too big.
They get like analysis paralysis.
Yeah. Versus I'm like, hey, I only need you to know step one right now.
Yeah.
Just do that. Cool. Once you hit it, all right.
I feel like people, they like wait way too long to start things, right? Like they try and get all the information before they start. I'm like, you don't need to over prepare for that. You just do
Just
it
need step
and
one.
wing it.
Yeah,
right. I know
for
you're big
sure.
on winging it.
Dude, I love winging it, man.
Like imperfect action. Like I love
Imperfect
that.
action is way better than perfect non-action.
Yeah, exactly.
So, yeah, dude, I think it's great that you've done all these side hustles and you've learned different things from them that ended up preparing you for your YouTube career.
Yeah.
So I want to transition into that and kind of like what it's led to and finally like that big breakthrough moment for you. But before that, let's hear a quick word from our sponsor.
Have you ever wanted to invest in real estate, but you didn't have the time to find deals yourself? That's where Fundrise comes in. Fundrise is a crowdfunding platform that has transacted over $5 billion in real estate and has over 150,000 active investors. While many funds, like my own, require accredited investors, Fundrise allows anyone to invest with as little as $500. If you'd like to learn more, check out fundrise.com. Once again, that's fundrise.com. Are you looking to find off-market real estate deals? One of the best tools my team uses is Batch Leads. With Batch Leads, you're able to pull data, manage lists, and send text messages. On top of that, you can get nationwide access to the MLS to get pictures and comps. My team has used Batch Leads to get some of our best deals, so I know it works. If you want to start today, you can get half off your first month by going to batchleads.io and using the promo code Ryan. Once again, that's batchleads.io, promo code Ryan for half off your first month. Now, back to the show.
So YouTube was finally your big side hustle breakthrough. I
Yep.
mean, you'd done other things too. You did tutoring, you did, all these things we talked about, real estate, photography.
Yeah.
And you had success. Like, it's not like you weren't doing great things. Like we talked off camera, you were
Yeah.
making six figures
Yeah.
doing,
I was doing fine,
yeah,
but nothing crazy. Right?
nothing crazy,
Nothing crazy.
but crazy for most. I mean, dude, how old are you?
I'm 29 now.
You're 29 now, but you're doing all that stuff in your mid 20s.
Yeah.
And you decided to start YouTube. What made you do that?
So YouTube, I've been like super frugal my entire life. I think just the way I was raised. So I think being frugal makes you, care more about money, and then it also makes you think, how can I make my money work for me? How can I like invest in all that stuff?
Right.
So I became really interested in that, and I was like, I want to like share this because this is stuff that people need to know. I don't know why we don't learn more about it in college or high school or
Right.
other forms of education, right? So I was like, I'm gonna start putting out content. I'm gonna also work on my speaking skills on camera because I want to work on that. And as a result, I was like, I'm gonna start making TikToks. I'm just gonna start doing like Instagram stories, and that just kind of led to me doing more of that. Yeah.
And now, when was this?
So I think I started getting more into this in like 2018.
Okay.
So like the first couple years of YouTube, like very, very slow growth, right?
Right.
Like I think I had 1,000 subscribers at the end or at the beginning of 2020.
Wow. So you were into it for like over a year.
Yeah.
With no traction.
Very little traction. I literally took my music cover channel from like 15 years ago and I converted it into my current channel. And yeah, I would make videos, no traction. And I feel like a lot of people, that's why they quit, right?
Right.
YouTube is hard because it just takes so long to get like those videos that start popping off. So that's why most people fail.
Right.
Right.
You need those viral videos.
Yeah. But
what made it go through? Like what finally caused it? So like before that though, I do want to say most people quit YouTube or even real estate or whatever it is because the initial learning curve and breaking through is so hard, dude.
it is very hard.
Getting your first real estate deal, super hard. And then once you get it, the second deal gets easier. The third gets easier. And it keeps getting easier and easier and easier.
It's definitely exponential. Yeah.
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 And that's why they say, too, like, becoming a millionaire, your first million is so hard.
Yeah.
Then your second gets easier.
Way easier,
Third, fourth, whatever.
Yeah.
So tell me about, like, 2020. You had 1,000 subs.
Yeah.
And today you have how many subs?
I think I'm like 450,000 or something
So almost 500,000
in like a year and a half.
Yeah, year and a half, dude. So what happened?
So I started doing TikTok. I think we started doing TikTok like around the same time. And then I was like, I'm gonna push people from TikTok over to my YouTube. I think that gave me like a little bit of initial traction, and then hopping on the whole stimulus trend, like that was really big for me. I think that was my first big video, was like unemployment or something like that.
Yeah.
In April of 2020, I saw that first video do well, and I was like, okay, shoot, I need to like ride this momentum. So I made like 1 to 2 videos every single day in April.
Wow.
On YouTube. And then that really gave me like a good foundation. And I just...
How many subs do you think you got from doing that?
Ooh, maybe like 20,000.
20,000?
Yeah.
You went from 1,000 to 20,000.
Yeah, which is like, yeah,
Dude,
20x.
that's 20x.
Yeah.
Dude, if I get 20x today,
That'd be crazy.
I'd be sitting good, baby.
Yeah. Yeah. But after that, I was like, I want to continue making content about stimulus stuff. That was like
Yeah, it
super
sucks.
boring, right?
Yeah.
So I just switched over to like stocks, personal finance, all this like side hustles.
Yeah.
My channel is like all over the place. Yeah.
That's how mine is, and I kind of like it.
Yeah. We would probably get bored like just talking about the same thing. Or like,
Yeah.
right?
People are like, man, you know, I want to hear the real estate stuff. And I'm like, well, I don't want to talk about it all the time.
Yeah.
So it is what it is.
Like you have to be willing to like make 500 videos of whatever your topic you're making. Otherwise, you're not going to have a successful channel. Right?
Yeah. I think for me, I just enjoy mixing it up. Like
Yeah.
I enjoy meeting cool people. I love interviewing people. And I don't know. It's just like you for sure have to be known for something.
Yeah.
Like the backbone. But you know, if you got other passions and things that you do, like
Incorporate, yeah.
show that. And so for you, like when I look at your channel, you said it's all over the place, but to me, it looks like the backbone is more like stock trading and stuff.
That's a big backbone.
Yeah.
So the reason why my channel still does well is because I have this like foundation of evergreen videos that continue getting views. Like I'm really big on making searchable content. So things like how to invest in stocks or how to get your real estate license, stuff like that.
Okay.
So those continue to get like a lot of views, and that really drives like the affiliate marketing and other stuff.
All right, so I want to pick your brain,
Yeah.
dude. So this is something, you know, my team and I are in Austin, and we're having a big sit down. That's part of the reason why we came to meet cool people like you, but also I wanted to get them all together to talk about our content strategy. And when I look at the YouTube analytics, over 50% is browse.
Okay.
And then over like 30% is recommended. We have
wow.
like 10% search.
Oh, wow.
And
I think that's
so-
normal.
You feel that's normal?
That's normal for most YouTubers. Mine is like 60% search.
And I think that's better.
It's like there's pros and cons of it, right? Like,
Right. Well, so let me tell you what my strategy was. It was
Yeah.
like, okay, you watch the big guys, right? They all clickbait. If you clickbait, it's very tough to get a search view, right?
Right.
Because nobody's searching for, I can't believe what just happened.
Exactly.
But if you search how to flip a house,
Yeah.
that'll last forever.
Yeah.
And I didn't realize this until I looked back at my history for the last year and a half. And I saw that, you know, these real estate videos I was putting out that always flopped initially. They were 8 out of 10s every time. And I was like, dude, I don't want to keep making these. These suck. Like, they don't do good. And I got discouraged. And then I went back and looked at them. I was
It's
like,
cool, huh?
Yeah, I was like, these videos are way better than
Yeah.
the ones that were way ahead of them.
Yeah.
And then on top of that, right, like those searchable videos do lead to better for my business. Like,
Oh, yeah.
those people are searching how to flip a house, and I'm like, go to Future Flipper, by the way,
That
guys.
converts super well,
Go to
right?
Future Flipper.
Yeah.
And it's like, yeah, this is probably smarter to go search, like focus on search more so than just clickbait.
Yeah, for me, I think it's smart to like get a foundation of a lot of searchable stuff, and then if you want to like really take off your channel, that's when you start doing more trending stuff and like
Right.
clickbait.
I think so. For me now, it's like a mix. Like, let's just if I'm gonna do, say, we talked about this, I'm gonna do 5 videos a week. Like,
Yeah.
I'm going back to volume. Like, what would you say? How many search versus like how many trending?
Shoot, there's only so much searchable stuff you can make, right? So I think after doing like 2 searchable videos per week, it's gonna be hard to like figure out what you can make content on.
So maybe like 2 search, maybe like 1 I hate doing trending, dude. Like even the stimulus, I
Yeah.
never did it. I was like, dude, my mind just doesn't care.
It's so boring. Yeah.
Yeah. I'm like, I don't care. Even if it like might help me grow, just like going on camera and reading, like props to Kevin and these guys that do it. Cause
They're so good at that too. Yeah. I don't know how they do it.
I don't know how they do it, but they love it. So I don't research. I'm just like, yo, what did I do yesterday? Okay, let's make a video on that.
Nice. Yeah, but maybe like two searchable and then 3, whatever.
Whatever.
And then,
One could be a trending news topic. The other 2 are like just cool stuff.
yeah, you'll figure it out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I think that's super encouraging, man, just to hear your growth. And I know that I found you on TikTok, right? Because I jumped on TikTok, during the pandemic. And to me, there wasn't that many finance guys on there at the time. Like I saw you and I was like, okay, this dude, he's out here making it happen, dude. I remember your first video was the Beamer, I think I saw. And,
I pimped out that. I was using that car for so much content.
I know.
Yeah.
I was like, this guy's in his does he live in his Beamer? What is he doing?
Yeah.
But it's not like I was hating or anything. I'm like, dude, it's smart. Like, use what you got. And
Dude, that's the whole reason why I try and get nice things is because I know it's good for marketing. Right?
Yeah.
And I know it's like a little bit, guru-y, but for me, I was like, I need to be able to stand out somehow. So that's really why I got that car. It was like, I should not have afforded that car at that time.
Right.
But I had a
But it
game
worked.
plan. Yeah, it worked out. That was probably like one of the best marketing decisions I've ever made, to be honest.
And so it goes back to like, okay, I've always told people, hey, don't be getting these crazy cars right away, right? Because most people are not marketers,
Right.
But if you can make the argument to me that, hey, I'm about to make content with this car, it's going to help my channel blow up, whatever, dope. You want to do it? Tight. And even to a degree, like our realtors and stuff, I'm like, you know what? If you want to go get luxury clients, you have to have a nice car.
Yep,
like you ain't driving people
helps.
around in your Honda Accord. It ain't
Right.
going to work.
It sounds dumb, but it works. I think dude, it's funny because when I was like 23 or 24, I started a clothing company. I spent so much time and money making the clothes, like sourcing it and going to China to like get created and stuff. And I spent $0 in marketing and like the brand completely failed.
Right.
So after that, I was like, wait a second.
You realize you have to market.
Yep, that's like the only reason why companies do well, right? Like you can have crappy clothes, but the company does really well because marketing, right? So
I tell people
marketing's
this all the
key.
time. The best product does not win. The best marketer wins.
Yeah.
Every
100%.
time. It's like, is Jake Paul the best boxer? No. But he's getting paid, baby.
Yep, he's a marketer. He knows how to
Dude.
use his audience.
How did
and-
Logan Paul fight Mayweather? It's like,
crazy?
because he's a great marketer.
Yeah.
Why is and look, Mayweather's a great marketer and he's the best too.
Mm-hmm.
Like when you're both, you're really going to kill
Yeah, that's
it.
a crazy combo.
Yeah.
I think a lot of your listeners are like already like pretty successful entrepreneurs, right?
Right.
But I think a lot of them, I mean, you've driven this like point in your podcast and in your videos a lot, like how social media is so important.
Right.
Even if you don't want to become like a professional, like YouTuber and make money from like AdSense, right? Like generating leads from social media is so powerful, I feel like.
Yeah, dude. I mean, think about me, for instance, right? Let's compare and contrast
Yeah.
our things. So the majority of your income is because you have a lot of followers and you get sponsors and AdSense and those things,
Yeah.
right? For me, dude, I don't have that many sponsors. I don't make that much in AdSense. It's like a drop in the bucket compared to my businesses. And literally for me, like I enjoy social media. I enjoy helping people and interviewing cool people and all those things that come with it. But at the end of the day, it's a marketing channel for my businesses.
Yeah, that's so smart.
And everyone else who has a business, I tell all my entrepreneur friends, I'm like, yo, you do not need to do what I do. You can do it on an extremely small level and make a killing. Because in like my industries, whether it's e-commerce or real estate or anything else that we do, they're all high ticket items. It's
You
like-
don't need a lot of volume.
No.
Or like a lot of audience.
Yeah.
Yeah. You can even do like Instagram lives or like Facebook Lives, right? Like that counts as social media too, right?
Well, yeah, that. And the other part is by putting yourself out there on social media, you may not be attracting a customer for your business, but you might be attracting a potential person that can help you.
True.
So
That's true too.
I've met a ton of people like you, right? Like I'm not selling you anything, but you and I might do something together that makes us both money.
Yeah.
So I've many of the people I've interviewed on my podcast, like I had Adrian Brambilla on before you.
Yeah.
He invested in my fund.
Oh,
you
shoot.
know, like
Yeah.
we're doing stuff together now, and we're gonna be doing other things where he's gonna, affiliate for me on different things. And it's just like when you put yourself out there, you attract the right people,
Right.
And you're gonna
Not just about the audience. It's also about like the people you meet, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's part of the reason I love the podcast, because you know, like on a main channel video, it's tough to incorporate these people into your videos.
Yeah, it is hard. Yeah.
Because your audience expects, oh, well, I just want Charlie's stock tips this week.
Right.
They might care what I have to say, but at the end of the day, I don't have nothing nice to say about stocks. I know nothing. So, but on a podcast, you can do all these cool things.
Yeah, exactly. So I think any entrepreneur, any successful entrepreneur in like 10 years is going to have like some type of social media,
Personal brand.
something personal brand. Yeah.
You have to.
Yeah, you have to.
Because, and this, I'm going to look directly in the camera. Guys, if you are an entrepreneur, okay, and you're not doing social media, you can be very successful right now. I know a lot of older people who are successful mainly because they've been doing it for years, okay? They had the mover's advantage. But guess what? Somebody's going to eat your lunch, whether it's me, whether it's Charlie, whether it's some other young millennial Gen Z person. They're going to eat your lunch, dude, and they're going to take your customers, and I promise you it will happen because all your customers are going to see them because they're willing to put themselves out there, and you weren't. Doesn't matter how good your product is or how many houses you sold or how many whatever you got. They're coming for you.
Oh yeah, they are.
And they don't even know they're coming for you yet because they haven't even figured it out yet.
Yeah.
But they will.
Yeah. So do social media. That's
Yeah.
right.
Well, and that's what I think about it, dude. I'm like, I see where this is going, man. I see where
You got your game plan.
Yeah, like
Yeah.
I see where social media is. I've already experienced like how crazy it is. I tell people this all the time. I'm like, I am not the best real estate investor. I'm not the best at this. I'm not the best at that. But guess what? I got more customers than the best because I put myself out there.
Yeah.
And is it fair? No. But you ain't putting in the work.
Yeah. They're not. Yeah. I agree with that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But dude, so I know both of us have social media courses. Mine's more focused on just, broad social media, with everything, Instagram, TikTok, YouTube. Yours is more YouTube focused,
Yep.
right? You got some great students. Tell me a little bit about that.
Yeah. I mean, I made my course because I was like, I saw the potential in online education. I feel like that's one of the best industries to get into right now. It's so scalable, right?
Right.
Like I know you're heavily into online education.
Yeah.
And I was like, I can't make all these videos and put them on my YouTube channel because they're just way too detailed. You can't put videos about like how to do the back end of your AdSense stuff, right? Like
Right.
people aren't going to care about that.
No.
So having some type of course for anyone that does social media is, I think, really important.
Yeah. Well, no, I'm saying like they should get your course if they want to learn YouTube.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
If you guys want to learn YouTube,
Yeah.
get my course.
so we'll link to Charlie's course down below. I've seen people in his program and results, and like you personally like coach that program too, right? A little bit.
Not too much right now. I'm converting that offer into like a more high ticket, like personalized group coaching offer.
Yeah.
So when I do that, yes, there's going to be
Yeah.
coaching.
So definitely check that out because I don't do any group coaching or anything for social media. I just don't have time.
Yeah.
But I think that's a big key is like I've worked with social media coaches and they've been super key because they're like in the know like day to day, like that's their passion. And I'm in the know too, but not like these guys are. So I'm gonna definitely link to it down below so
Thank
everyone
you.
can check it out.
Thank you.
And yeah, dude, I'm happy we finally got to connect.
Yeah, it's been great.
You're crushing it, and I'm excited to see what else you start to do.
Thank
And we'll be doing some more stuff together, man.
Yes, sir.
Cool, bro. Appreciate having you. Guys, make sure you subscribe, make sure you leave a 5-star review, and we'll catch you on the next one. Peace.
Thanks for watching The Ryan Pineda Show. If you want to work with me, head over to ryanpineda.com. You can find my courses, coaching programs, and upcoming events. We also have free resources you can download, so head over to ryanpineda.com.